So first, introduce yourself.
Okay, hi, I'm Heidi Jeub. I'm an artist who lives in St. Joseph, Minnesota. Abstract painter, bookbinder, and public artist.
So what does your work try to say? I mean, is that something important to you as an artist?
Yeah, well, a lot of it is sort of a subliminal thing,
Yeah.
and it's usually undermined by something happening in our communities. I do believe that because of my internal dialogue that systems has everything to do with my work. So
Okay.
you won't see it as well. I have a previous body of work that I did in 2016 that was, they were grids. They were, and I've been doing grids for years, and they're not like measured out in any sort of way. They're just I just see a grid, and it's like I'm tracing over the top of the grid, right, in my head. And sometimes it will shift and move based on the scale. So if I'm standing and then all of a sudden I slunch, then my grid might shift a little bit because of my stance. Then I broke free, and I think one of the things is that instrumental part. Okay, so 2016. Oh yeah, right, election year. So then I went off, and this is pre-election results. So I went off to Colorado, and I went to go see that show, and then I really broke free from that. I broke free from the grids for a while, and then I realized that I was really becoming aggressive with how I was laying down paint. So then my emotions started like really diving into it. But the thing is, it was a direct response to the systems that we were
experiencing. The outside world was kind of affecting you, and you
right.
People
anyone who's marginalized, whether you're a rural community, woman, person of color, whatever, any of that was happening was becoming so obvious that this was a fight that was being systematically challenged, right?
Yeah.
So I was my painting changed to a little bit more, it seems random, but it's away from the grid. It was breaking free of the grid. But then I switched over to circles, because and that actually happened more, when did that start? This last year. Because I started paying attention more to relationships. So systems are one thing, relationships are another. Relationships are something that you can build from the ground up. It can be very simple. And it can be very evident. You can see it. It can be tangible, but it also can lead to systems that are either equitable or not. But the relationships that I was playing around with were small town relationships, and sometimes they work. Sometimes they can be really restricted to where they allow those relationships to go. And I was saying this from my own personal relationships that I had.
Yeah.
So like some can be functional, some can be dysfunctional, some can be family based, some can be work related, right? So circles ended up becoming my new gesture.
Yeah.
So and then my color palette, I usually do use bold colors. That's something that, with the exception of a few pieces where they're a little bit more subtle, that I think I've always kind of done, much to the dismay of my painting instructors. Because, I don't know, I remember going to Guatemala in like the 90s, and coming back to a painting class and horrifying my instructor. And then not until, because she was like, what did you do with your color? Like, because I was doing
You're getting the
wonderful blended neutral colors, and then I come back and everything's really bold. And not until I brought some stuff in for a still life project that were all from Guatemala, because I lived in a little tiny room in college,
Yeah.
I didn't have a lot of stuff to put in my still life, and she's like, what's the story behind all this stuff? And I was like, well, I just got back from Guatemala. Oh my God, that totally makes sense. And I didn't realize what she was saying. I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. But I realized that I was looking at color in a completely jarred way. Not only the natural part, but you know, just like simply painting a house like turquoise blue, or a door being painted a certain color, or just this sort of, and I don't want to say it was happiness. It might have been just, this is the color we had, and we don't have an Ace Hardware down the street to match, you know, what we're trying to do. But there was sort of a DIY approach to color, not a, and you come back here and everything, you know, everything was, you know, vinyl siding in different colors of beige.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so walking back into that makes you realize, oh, yeah. This isn't. I mean, I do appreciate, don't get me wrong, beautiful color palettes and stuff like that, but I think that I'm almost trying to end with those colors. And sometimes I'll do out of the tube. Painters kind of get on my case for that, but and actually one of the pieces is called Out of the Tube, the one very top there.
Okay.
Because, which they are not.
Okay.
I did blend them. However, I played around with the idea of, you know, just grabbing the paint exactly how it is in the bucket and just smearing it on and just saying, no, I bought that off the shelf for a reason. I don't care. I love it.